Hi everybody, my name is Harry Jacobs and I am an Old 60 Gamer, and welcome. Today we have a new game that's coming to Kickstarter. And while you're watching this, it probably is already on Kickstarter or will be on Kickstarter very, very soon. A family has moved into the neighborhood. They've opened a couple businesses, a mining company and a mortuary. The villagers' inhabitants are suspicious of them. There's rumors that they're monsters. Like any family moving into a new neighborhood, they don't know their neighbors, and the neighbors are suspicious because of the rumors of them being monsters. But they just want to run the family businesses of the mining company and the mortuary and go about their business without the interference of the villagers. As the so-called monsters wander around the city to try to allay fears, using perhaps some underhanded methods and doing some misdeeds to keep the villagers from being suspicious about them, they may use a little beguile, a little murder perhaps. But it's all in fun, of course, because at the end of the day, family of monsters, or so-called monsters, will either live and die as a family. We are talking about Gathering Gloom. This game is for 1 to 4 players, 90 minutes to 120 minutes, and it is and looks like a great looking game. The game is designed by Carly and Harvey Cornell and is published by Dragon Phoenix Games. So let's get down to the table. Let's take a quick look at what this game is all about. This is just a preview. Keep in mind that everything we're going to look at is a prototype. So rules are going to change, art is going to change, things are going to change. And I know that I was talking to Carly this morning, and things have already changed in terms of cards and rules. So keeping that in mind, we are going to go down to the table and take a look at Gathering Gloom. Hi everybody, we are down to the table and we have set up Gathering Gloom. And you can see here is our family in the middle, and it comprises of 6 different characters, all who have a character sheet. And we have Josanne Dulek, who is a ghost. We have Samantha Charming, who's a witch. Barnaby Collier, this is my personal favorite because I was a fan of Dark Shadows back in the 60s and 70s. What a fantastic show. Dr. Elmore Krankenstein. Hannah DeWeiler, she's a zombie, of course, and Jackson Sharonov, who is a werewolf. And they all have, as you can see, special powers, some attributes, that they can have some stalkers and they can have employees. Stalkers are going to hinder them in some way. Employees can help them in some way. Always at a cost of some fear, of course, adding fear. Here is our fear trackers. Again, we talked about when there is 12 fear, the game is over for the players. Again, this is a cooperative game, so the family lives and dies together. Over here we have our cards, our peril cards, our crisis cards, and you can see I have 3 crises, one in the Bainbridge Universal Mining and Processing, or BUMP for short, and the Elm Shadow, a mortuary, and of course their home, and this is the manor house, of course. We have our graveyard. Now they aren't normally in a graveyard. What will happen is when we start the game, anybody who's not the vampire is going to start in the manor house. However, we are going to start the vampire in the mortuary, and the rest would just come off the board. We are most likely going to play through, after this video, a 2 or 3 player game, a cooperative game, and I'm sure that these 2 are going to be in there, and then one other. We have 1 body in the cemetery already. If we ravage him, we're going to put that on and take a token. We have our villagers all set up on our road. We have our mischief cards, And each player gets 6 of their own to start with their deck, and to that they're going to add the mischief cards at the top. And our places in which we're going to visit. And of course our villagers deck. So on your turn, we're going to prepare. We are going to do a number of different actions, and all these actions, of course, are on your sheet right here. So we're going to refresh, then we're going to roll for your event. Now you're only going to roll the red dice first, and then different events are going to happen. You're going to equip, you're going to make. So if I roll the dice and the flame comes out, then a villager may come out on board. And if the villager can't come out on board, there's some rules around how that manifests. In this case, I believe they'll actually take a card here. But we'll confirm that in the rules. As we pass through, when we get to level 18, we're going to add the black dice to the event. And eventually, when we get to 35, we're going to add this dice. And we'll be writing up to 3 events per turn, adding more perils, more villagers, more clues. Clues are going to trigger negative effects to our family and may raise the gloom. When the gloom gets to 50, the game is over. So that is what this game is all about. As we play through the game, we'll exhaust our characters using the exhaust. We'll have the ability to re-roll bad rolls, which are going to come in handy. But at the end of the day, as a family, we live and die trying to take care of as many as 11 crises in this deck and the 3 that are up here. So in a 2-player game, you're going to do 14 crises in total. And I believe it's 14, 15, 16, all the way up to 17 if you're in a 4-player game. Right now, 3 indicates a 2-player game. So how do we solve crises? Well, part of what we do is use our mischief cards and our strength, our attributes. As you can see, Jackson here has some charm and he has some strength. So there's really nothing he can apply here at this point. So he would draw cards, and you can see his cards have the icons here, and we're going to match up those icons. And we've got 2 hearts. Well, okay, we have 2 hearts right here, but nothing is strength. We don't have any will. So he may not be the monster to solve that crises that are going on right now. So we'll have up to 3 cards or more in our hands. So if we had a deck like this, so if this was our werewolf's hands, he might be able to solve this one perhaps with a little help. But right now, he doesn't really have the charm to do that or the willpower. So we're going to use our cards. We're going to pick one of these cards. We'll either use it for the evidence side, and it'll go into the police station or constabulary, or we will turn it and we will give a citizen, or a villager, I should say, some equipment. In this case, he's elected to town council, gives him an extra heart, and allows him to listen. When we start to go towards the end of the turn, after we take all our actions, we are going to use this stalkinator to decide whether or not a villager is going to stalk. And each villager is going to be checked based on a number of these types of icons that are around the board and the crises and things like that. And if we ever get 4, we're going to take on a stalker, or 4 of a kind. We are going to take on a stalker. So we're going to try to avoid stalkers. We're going to try to get our employees helping us. During our turn, if we want to move, we'll move here to Elderberry, in which case then we'll either unexhaust a minion that we have, or we'll take a recast cube. And we're going to visit Commerce Street, Elderberry Road, Drury Lane, of course, Academy Boulevard, Brownstone Drive, the Constabulary and Morgue. We're going to go up here as the Mortuary, of course, the Manor House. And you can see we have icons here. When we visit, we can do different things here on arrival. So here it looks. So if you visit here, you would add a crisis. Say you've already solved a crisis, you can certainly bring another crisis up. Looking for a horrified experience, you're not going to get that here. You're going to have some fun situations and crises that you're going to have to solve. I like to think of it as more like the monsters or the Addams Family, where things happen and they're always in crisis because people don't trust them, suspicious, and so the family is going to have to bring their A game to the village to try to prevent them from dying and being overrun with a mob. And you can certainly get a mob going, in which case then that is going to really negatively affect our family members. This game looks absolutely fabulous. I can't wait to do a playthrough for you. It's all set up for 2 players. I'm going to probably do 3, depending on how much room I actually have here at the end of the day. But I hope this gives you enough of an overview to back this on Kickstarter. I think it's well worth it. I think this game is going to bring a lot to the table. So that is it for me now. For now, my name is Harry Jacobs. I am the North of 60 Gamer. Please hit like. I really appreciate it. Subscribe, mash that button, and notify yourself. Or hit notifications in order to see more videos like this, especially this playthrough. And once the playthrough is up, I will link the preview to the playthrough. So that is it for now. I will talk to you later.